Hi, this is G from Native Speakers Academy, and welcome to 10-Minute English. This is where we introduce short articles from the news for upper intermediate level students. That's B2 on the Common European Framework. So, today's article, which I will bring up on the screen right now. Here we go. Let's just put it in place. Has the title, Yes, There Are No-Go Zones in Europe, by Art Moore. And this article deals with the fact that some areas of Europe are becoming increasingly difficult for governments to handle, especially some areas of countries, most especially some inner city areas. Now, as usual, I have highlighted important words and phrases in the text. You might want to check out these words and phrases before we read through the text, or you can try to guess the meanings from the context and check your understanding at the end. As usual, to help you understand the text, I recommend that you take words or phrases and you copy them from the text, like so. And a copy of the text, I will add a link to that when this video goes onto the internet. I recommend that you use the Google search system with the word define and a word or phrase. In the wake of, sometimes it's not a word that we need to copy or to focus on to understand the meaning. Sometimes it's a group of words together. So here we've got in the wake of. Now we could have a look at the Cambridge Dictionary here. Let's see what the Cambridge Dictionary says. English definition of in the wake of something. In the wake of something. If something happens in the wake of something else, it happens after and often because of it. And that's a nice little definition. If you want the history of the word or the story of the word, you can use the online etymology dictionary. And if you would like a more complex understanding of how the word connects with other parts of language, you can use the online graphical dictionary. That's visuwords.com. So, let's get back to our article. Yes, there are no-go zones in Europe, by Art Moore. Much has been made of the Fox News apology for on-air claims made in the wake of the Paris attacks of no-go zones in Europe. I actually think there should be some commas in that sentence. It's interesting also to note the use of passive at the beginning of the sentence there. Much has been made of the Fox News apology for on-air claims. I would put a comma there. Made in the wake of the Paris attacks, because the claims are of no-go zones in Europe. Anyway, let's continue. Now, with the threat of a lawsuit against Fox by the Paris mayor, the conventional wisdom is that the voices of rabid anti-immigration Islamophobes have been shamed into silence. Here's a word that I perhaps missed when I wanted to highlight things earlier. But amid some admitted exaggerations, Fox did not say no-go zones don't exist. The fact remains that the governments of France and other European nations have identified specific enclaves where Muslim immigrants who have chosen not to assimilate as areas in which law enforcement has lost some degree of control. Obviously, I hope you understand that the concept of no-go as a zone or area means that you can't go there or that you should not go there. Basically because it's too dangerous. And I could tell you a few stories about living in London and being chased down the street by people with very large knives. What do they call the large knives? Machetes they were. Because I walked through an area which was Greek and Turkish, and I was not Greek and I was not Turkish. The French government itself lists on its website 751 zones urbaines sensibles, maybe that's how you pronounce it, or sensitive urban zones, excuse my bad French, that the state does not fully control. Notes Middle East foreign policy expert Daniel Pipes, director of the Middle East Forum. Did you know there was a Middle East Forum? I wonder what they do. In 2008, Michael Nazir Ali, the Pakistan-born Anglican Bishop of Rochester, there's an interesting combination. Pipes wrote in the London Daily Telegraph that one of the results in Britain of a worldwide surge in Islamic extremism has been to further alienate the young from the nation in which they were growing up, and also to turn already separate communities into no-go areas where adherence to this ideology has become a mark of acceptability. Those of a different faith or race may find it difficult to live or work there because of hostility to them, he said. Last October, the Swedish police published a report on 55 areas of heightened criminal activity in a report titled A National Survey of Criminal Networks with Great Influence in the Local Community. It's a wonder that they can write all these reports and then they don't really seem to act very much on them. Perhaps it's a case of better the devils you know than the devils that you don't know. In 2002, the New York Times' David Ignatius wrote of France that Arab gangs regularly vandalize synagogues here. The North African suburbs have become no-go zones at night, and the French continue to shrug their shoulders. The day after the Charlie Hebdo massacre set off Fox's discussions of no-go zones in France, the New Republic wrote, the word banlieue, I've probably butchered that as well, suburb, meaning suburb, now connotes a no-go zone of high-rise slums, drug-fueled crime, failing schools and poor, largely Muslim immigrants and their angry offspring. So, there we go, forcing people of different cultures to live in one place appears not to work. This idea that everybody will integrate and we will have multiculturalism seems to have failed in many areas of Europe. I know from living in London, the Chinese stayed in the Chinese area, the Greek stayed in the Greek area, the Afro-Caribbean stayed in the Afro-Caribbean area, and they brought their conflicts with them. Basically, you didn't want to walk down the wrong street on the wrong day at the wrong time because, well, you would get into a lot of trouble and it would be pretty bad for your health. So there is other information in the article, and links to the article will be posted online with the video. What else can we say? Well, that's about all we have time for at the moment. As I said, links will be posted along with anything else that is relevant. If you have any comments about my comments or my use of language, then feel free to leave a note or write me a message. You can visit the Native Speakers Academy school on the internet. You can visit our home site, www.nsa-slovakia.com. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook and Google Plus and Pinterest and LinkedIn and lots of other social forums on the internet. If you are really interested in diving deeper into these subjects, you can even take one of our special one-to-one English study courses. Just send us an email if you would like more details. That's all for now, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.